So we're now getting dangerously close to version 5.6, and if you've been even slightly tuned into the Genshin leak scene lately, you'll know exactly why this moment matters. The banners ahead aren't just strong, they're potentially game-changing. But the craziest part? This is only the beginning. Today, we're looking beyond just the next patch. We're going all the way to version 6.0 to explore what could be one of the most exciting stretches of updates Genshin Impact has ever had. And trust me, there are going to be some incredibly tough decisions to make, especially if you're trying to save primo gems. We've got leaks. We've got patterns. We've got speculation that just might turn out to be true. So, if you want to be prepared for what's coming in the next few months, make sure to watch this entire video. I'll walk you through every banner, explain what's most likely, what's still uncertain, and even help you figure out who might be worth pulling for and who you might want to skip. Let's start with the next confirmed version, 5.6. Thanks to the very reliable leaker HomDGCat, we already have what's probably a complete banner overview for version 5.6. The 5-star characters featured in this patch are expected to be Escoffier, Kinich, Navia, and Raiden Shogun. That's already one of the strongest 4-character lineups we've had in a while. Escoffier is a brand new cryo polearm support from Fontaine with extremely high synergy potential, especially with what's coming in 5.7, but more on that in a minute. Raiden Shogun is one of the most popular characters in the game and almost always drives high sales, so her rerun here is clearly meant to pressure players to pull early. Then you have Kinich, a powerful Dendro DPS with a growing fan base, and Navia, who continues to impress with her burst-heavy Geo playstyle. It's a stacked phase, and it's not just about the 5 stars either. The 4 stars leaked for 5.6 include Aoife, Killjoy's Sarah, Lynette, Layla, and Tama. Aoife is the new Anemo Catalyst 4-star from Nadalon, known for fighting midair and using a gun. Killjoy's Sarah is basically a given since she always shows up with Raiden. The others are good utility or niche picks that add some nice value to the rotation. But 5.6 is just the warm-up, because what's coming next is where things get wild. Let's move to version 5.7, and I'm going to say it right away. This version will take a lot of people by surprise. Not because of who's coming, but because of how painful it's going to be on your wallet. The headline here is Skirk. She's finally arriving, and she's already looking like one of the most exciting main DPS characters we've seen in a long time. But here's the catch, her kit is built entirely around freeze comps, meaning you'll need only cryo and hydro characters in your party to get the most out of her damage. And that's why Escoffier from 5.6 becomes absolutely crucial. If you plan on pulling for Skirk, you pretty much need to consider Escoffier in your plans. Skipping her might seriously hurt your ability to use Skirk optimally. Skirk is expected to be a single-target focused character with massive scaling potential when built correctly. And she isn't coming alone. Leaks point to Dahlia debuting in 5.7 as a 4-star. He will appear as an NPC in the 5.6 Archon quest, and it's very likely we'll get to pull him in the following patch. Now here's where things start to get a bit murkier. Based on patterns and speculation, Mavwika is likely to show up in 5.7 as well. Why? Because she's the most recent Archon, and Genshin has a clear pattern of rerunning Archons a few versions after their debut. It makes perfect sense, and she's still in high demand. Another potential rerun is Emily, who hasn't had a single rerun since her debut all the way back in version 4.8. That's a long time without a rerun for a 5-star, so if there's any spot to bring her back, 5.7 makes a lot of sense. Then we have Mualani. If Hoyoverse is sticking with the theme of giving every Natlan release character a rerun during the Nadalon arc, Mualani could absolutely be back in 5.7. But here's the warning, it's not a guaranteed pattern. Genshin has broken it before, most notably with Riosley, who was skipped despite similar expectations. So don't bank on it just yet. Now let's talk version 5.8, better known as the Summer Event Patch. This patch almost always brings a lighthearted theme and a huge limited time event. But don't let that fool you. The banners are usually big here too. And the #1 candidate for a rerun this time is Lolly. She's the last of the first wave Natlon characters who hasn't had a rerun yet by that time, and 5.8 is the last patch in the Natlon chapter. That timing lines up perfectly. But here's where things could get even more interesting. With Raiden getting a rerun in 5.6, there's some buzz about a potential Inazuma-themed Chronicled Wish in 5.8. Why? Because Chronicled Wishes do not include Archons, and if Hoyoverse wants to bring back some long-absent Inazuma characters, this is the best way to do it. Think about it, Kokomi, Ito, Ayaka, Ayato, Wamiya, and Yae Miko are all Inazuma 5-stars who haven't had reruns in a very long time. A Chronicled Wish banner centered around them could be a massive win for players who missed out. If that happens, it might be one of the most pull-worthy side banners we've had in ages. Now, let's stretch things a little further and talk about version 6.0. It's very far out, yes, but we already have some lore hints and leaks that give us a glimpse at what to expect. One of the biggest names being thrown around for 6.0 is Durin. Yes, the same Durin from Dragonsbine lore. Leaks suggest he might be added as a playable character, which would be absolutely massive. And if the new Archon quest starts in Dragonsbine, we might also see characters connected to that region and to Durin returning. One character that fits perfectly into that theme is Wanderer. His lore connections and the greater story would make his rerun in version 6.0 feel narratively satisfying. And if that happens, there's also a good chance we'll get an Albedo rerun too. His ties to Dragonsbine make him a prime candidate to return during that storyline. Alright, now that we've looked through everything from 5.6 all the way to 6.0, let's talk about pulling strategy. If you're looking at this purely from a meta perspective, there are two characters you should prioritize above all: Skirk and Escoffier. Their synergy is just too good to ignore. If Skirk ends up being as strong as the leaks suggest, not having Escoffier will limit how much value you can get out of her. However, if you're low on Primo Gems or looking for the safest long-term pick, Mavwika might be the smartest choice. She's an Archon, which means high utility, long-lasting relevance, and high overall value for your account. You'll maybe won't get that many rerun chances, so missing her could hurt. And finally, remember, pull who you like. Meta is fun and all, but long-term happiness in Genshin comes from building teams you love playing. Whether that's a cracked-out freeze team with Skirk and Escoffier, or finally getting your favorite Inazuma character back through a Chronicled Wish, it's your game. Play it your way. Let me know in the comments which version you're most excited for and who you're planning to pull. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss my future breakdowns, roadmap updates, and Primo Gem guides. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.